we'll have to see what is the sutta. What we have taken is Vammikasutta. It means first we need to for our meditation practice, we need to make this body same like a anthill. Okay, exactly like an anthill, which is what it is at present. We have to consider this body to be like an anthill, and then we need to make it like these five parts. One is anicca, uchadana, parimadana, bhedana, vidhamsana, and dhammasa means what the dhamma is made out of. So what it really means is anicca nature is arising and passing away. That means it starts to decay the moment something is joined, it starts to disjoin. So we join and disjoins and joins and disjoins, and that's how we call it as an aging process. When we say anything is aging, it should be actually joining and disjoining. So if we become a witness, or if I or you or anyone becomes a witness, then you can see the arising and passing, both. Okay, so the whole objective is to see the arising and passing, and then ensuring that we or I is removed from that. Just observer remains, just observing. Then what happens here? You're able to see the starting point, which is always seen, but the ending point is not seen. What I mean to say is, we see the day, but not the dissolution. We assume the dissolution to be a continuation, meaning when the morning happens and the night happens and we go to sleep, we already plan for tomorrow. So there's a connection. So the consciousness connects two things together. So we would say, yesterday I was doing this, and today I'm going to do this, and tomorrow I'm going to do that. So past, present, future is stitched as this one continuous stream. However, it is not. If we see for sure, we have a morning and that turns itself into a night. And after the night, that is whenever you go to sleep, even if you were to sleep for 10 minutes in a deep sleep, that is dissolution. Means there is no I left in that. If you're supposed to wake up, then there is a continuity. If not, the continuity is broken. So the future is a perceived reality. The past is a conditioned reality. The present is just an extension of that condition, wherever we left. So when I say I'm doing something, I have to construct these three: past, present, and future. Otherwise, there's nothing to construct. So we plan, and that planning is what the anthill is all about. Meaning, this anthill is a planned one, it is created one. So this body, which is created by food, goes through 5 processes, is what is indicated. One is anicca, it arises and passes. So the first step is in our progression is to see the cessation. We don't see the cessation. When you see the cessation, you feel bliss. You experience the bliss because it ceases. Like a birthday, it's arising, but nobody sees the ceasing. That means the person is dead. We say, I'm turning 50 as an example. The 50 years are gone, they ceased, but we are going to say that he's a 50-year-old. That means there is a continuity. That means I've stitched the future with the present to the past. So I don't see dissolution. I see only arising. And that's what we all want. We don't want to die. So we keep only the arising aspect of it, not the departure aspect of it. Okay. So another easy example. I was in the States from December 22nd till Jan 13th. What does that mean? How does that work? Is that Arrival is birth, departure is death. Okay. Even though I was there from 22nd till 13th, and in Australia from um, April 3rd until April 27th, so we can put it as birth and death. And in between is a decay. That means the day is passing away, decay. So we can see the arising aspect, the decaying aspect, and the death aspect, all the three. So every day passing is death. If we take to something, we say you're going to live 100 years, 100 years, even if it were fixed, if for some reason we fix it, but each day going is one day less from there. So we only see the arrival, but we don't consider the departure. Supposing I were to consider the departure, and then you let go of holding on to it. So there's a peace because I just let go of what I was holding. That's really peaceful. Okay. So if not, I have to see it in 5 ways. So what he's saying is anicca, the first nature. Second is uchadana, meaning it has to be washed because the body has to be washed. So it has to be uchadana. Parimaddana, meaning it keeps on compressing and going off shape like diseases and aging process. And then bhedana, broken up. So the skin breaks up, meaning you'll have a dry skin, so it breaks, bone can break, tissues can break, ligaments can break. Like in my case, I have a torn ligament, so it can be broken. So bhedana, and then vidhamsana. Vidhamsa means completely destroyed, gone and gone forever. So there's no trace of that person. Every dhamma undergoes these 5 processes: anicca, then uchadana, parimaddana, bhedana, then final dissolution of that. Okay. So dhamsa in all Indian languages means to destroy. So vidhamsana means completely. So any object we create in this world goes through these 5 processes. So the meditation, that is, when we say meditation, samatha and vipassana, samatha portion is tranquility, make the mind calm by watching the breath. Vipassana is about investigation. Then you investigate the reality. Now, when I do that, it always tends to the 4th jhana. It always. Meaning I can skip the 1st, 2nd, 3rd jhana because I've already taken care. It comes to the 4th jhana. And then that helps me in establishing 5, 6, 7, 8 or arupa jhana because the rupa is gone. By this process, the rupa goes away. Any questions before I continue further? Okay, good. So that is the reason it's called Vammika. So yesterday we had stopped at this ash filter where we were talking about Changavaram. So actually what Buddha says is the Changavara, what is there is the 5 hindrances. Why does he talk about that? I mean, what is that bubble maker or soap maker got to do with 5 hindrances? It will obscure the reality. I say you have soap, a lot of soap, foam. It gives you a wrong opinion about something. Just like in the Vammikasutta Sutta, you can see the body is like a foam the pena means foam. So the form is like a foam. So any form we are seeing today is actually a group of form, but we see it as a person because of the five hindrances. If you were to remove all the five hindrances, then the home is gone. There is no concept of home any longer. It just goes out of service. So the basically what Buddha is saying is that Changavaram consider is like five hindrances, starting with Kamachanda, ending with Visikicha. Now, when I don't see this Vammika, this body, is made out of just the elements, that is Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, and it has a nature of breaking, the nature of washing, nature of going away, then I am hindered in looking at what should be looked because I'm getting caught up in the detail. At that time, I need to do Indriya Samvara because the senses are getting excited. They're getting excited to see or experience something. And when the senses get excited, then you can't get into the Rupa Jhana because the senses are excited. So we have three-level process. The first is a Kama. Second one is the four Rupa Jhana. The third one is the four Arupa Jhanas. So to get into the Rupa Jhana and Arupa Jhana, I need to remove the Kama, which is where the Mara lives. So remove it. So how should I do it? It's a complete practice all throughout the day. In anything we are doing, if you're touching this, I'm touching someone or something, I need to watch. Oh, this is like this. This is a nature to break, nature to dissolve, nature to go away. If somebody is given a birthday, it means certainly it will go to death. I have no doubt. Daily it is going away. Daily is going by at least 3 times as breakfast, lunch, dinner. So I should see it in that way. Then I can come out of the 5 hindrances. And in the commentary and in the sutta also they put ash chamber, ash filter, something like that. Why ash? Because if you are filtering, the ash blocks it. It's again a hindrance. So that also is okay on the explanation given by Sujato as a ash filter seemed to be okay, but actually Changavaram is something to do with bubble maker or washing clothes basically. Okay, so we are done till there. Then we come into the Kummo. Kumma is tortoise. The 6 senses. Simple, there's nothing to guess. So as the tortoise symbolizing the 6 senses, the 6 senses is part of the khandas. So he talks about the 5 khandas. So the khanda, when you really touch it, it will show you the nature. One is anicca, dukkha, anatta. These 3 natures are seen. The senses, you really observe, they're very short-lived. Meaning you get distracted, meaning I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that thing is dropped. It's anicca nature. The sound, I'm hearing something and somebody speaks something to me and that person's voice is unheard. This person's voice is heard. It's anicca. I'm tasting something and somebody gives me like what I and Ashwin did the other day. I don't know whether I shared with all of you or not. I and Ashwin went to an ice cream parlor to test. Okay. So there's an ice cream parlor by name Polar Bear. So we had 2 scoops of ice cream. Okay. And we looked at the taste of that ice cream. And then there was Baskin Robbins near our home. So then I said to Ashwin, why don't we have Baskin Robbins? He said, we'll eat tomorrow. I said, no, tomorrow. We'll eat today. So we had another scoop of ice cream. So we did 3 scoops of ice cream in a matter of hardly 10 minutes. So when we went and had this Baskin Robbins ice cream, we could not remember the 2 scoops ice cream what we had eaten. It's completely gone, erased. No memory of that 2 ice cream what we had eaten. No taste could be found. And after that, we had this ice cream from Baskin Robbins. It hardly retained the taste for 5 minutes. And then when we came back home, we ate something and gone. So what we can make out of it? That it can see the anicca nature. We can make out the dukkha nature, and we can see the anatta nature. Anicca nature is this arising and passing away. It passed away. Dukkha nature is you can't get satisfied with that ice cream. You need to have another ice cream to somehow retain the taste. I need to have another sight, another look at that thing, whatever that thing is, to get into that enjoyment of sight. I need to keep on hearing the same thing or a different music all the time. And same thing with touch, same thing with smell, and same thing with thoughts. So basically, I can see the dukkha of creating it again and again and again and again and again. That creation of again and again and again is what Buddha terms as craving, tanha. You need to create it again and again and again. There's no other way. If you want to enjoy something, you have to create it. And when you create it, it gets destroyed. Again, you have to create it. And again, it gets destroyed. Again, you have to create it. Again, it is destroyed. So you have to crave for creation. You keep on creating it. No product can stay in its own way without deterioration. So we need to add some features. We need to do something because the interest is gone. I think Shaniel knows it even more better with his games because the people who are playing games want something new. They want something new. And you as a gamer, you know how boring it is to play the same game. And if you have finished all the levels and that's it, you feel there's nothing new. So what does Shaniel do? He'll add a new one. He adds another level, difficult one. The more the difficult is better. Now you see this fun, how Dhamma also works. So they made Sotapanna most difficult. So you will run towards it. If somebody were to say becoming a Sotapanna is the most easiest thing, except that you need to see only arising and passing away, nobody would love to be there. The more the difficult, better it is. Because in a game, there should be fight. If it is coming to you without fight, you don't want it. And Buddha Dhamma is one thing where you get it by not fighting for it, you get it by giving up, not by fighting. So if I want to enter into jhana, I should give up the act of entering into jhana. Then I'm in jhana. If I want to drop sensuality, I shouldn't force. I should just leave it. Okay. So basically, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, these 6 senses have one thing in common. Fortunately, nothing is retained. And hence, we can reach akincha ayatana without any problem. Because nothing is retained anyway. There's nothing retained in the sight. There's nothing retained in the eyes. There's nothing retained in the ear, nor in the sound. Nothing retained in the taste nor the tongue, like that. So it's very easy. If we know the lakhana, the characteristics, there are two ways of defining the characteristics. One way, what Buddha defines it as by anicca viparinami anyatha bhavi. Another way, he defines it as anicca dukkha anatta. Now, let's understand this further before we go even more into this Vammikasutta. Is that when I say anicca, it arises and passes. Good. Isn't it bringing you distress, anxiety, and vexation? Yes, it is. Like when I was boarding the flight or in the domestic terminal of Brisbane, and I'm seeing both Bobby and Merin for the last time, how it is. And when I saw Ariu and Chirag for the last time in SFO airport, how is that? Right? It's dukkha. What dukkha is there? Piyehi vipayogo dukkho. Right? And coming back to Bangalore, it is overwhelming, is apiyehi sampayogo dukkho. And I can't stay more than whatever days given. In the same way, we can't live here more than what the ayu has been given, the lifespan. It's going to end. The game ends. So the game of six senses is going to end. Now, can I not switch it off on my own before death comes? Yes. And that's Nibbana. So the whole process is to switch off, know how to switch on when required, and the remaining time switch it off. There's no need. We don't have to have it on, always on. That switch arrow in that iPhone 16, always on. This is also the switch. If you find that switch, you can turn it off. So it will become on when you want, it will switch off when you don't want. Done with it. Right? So basically, that's how you come out of this nature. Viparinama is dukkha. This is called viparinama dukkha. Viparinama means parinama is as expected. Viparinama is unexpected. Meaning, I expect to stay in Australia forever. Forever means forever, not death, forever. And the answer is one simple no. Even if an Australian, no. Even if an American, no. You have only limited time. It's limited. It's not unlimited. So it's already in Viparinama. Even before the game began, it's limited. So let's say one game having 10 levels. That's it. You've done all the 10 levels. Nothing else can be done. Then I need another game. Sorry. Same. How do we know we are in game? Well, you're repeating the same thing again and again and again, meaning it's circling. So morning happens, do the same thing. Afternoon happens, do the same thing. Evening happens, do the same thing. Night happens, do the same thing. And next day morning again happens the same thing. So you keep on playing the same game again and again and again and again. So now you decide, I want to end this game. It's enough. I had enough of fun. Yes, Harry, you wanted to say something?
Yes. So basically, growing up, my dream is to find this one perfect game where I can invest everything in it and it keeps giving me satisfaction. And upon failure of that, that's what turned me into this meditation thing.
Exactly. Yes, you're right. So you moved from gaming to this for the same reason. I know about your story. Maybe when you come and meet Shaniel, I think you can share all your story of your gaming so that it might help him to see what he can do on his gaming thing. But anyway, so coming back to this topic is if we see viparinama, that you have limited, the space is limited. There's no much space. It's limited space. But it can repeat. And the nature is to repeat. But then that's just what? That's just a limited space. And then a third one, anyatha bhavi. It becomes otherwise. What does it become otherwise? What do you mean? Death. What else? It's otherwiseness. I want to exist, but turns otherwise. I want to make money, it turns otherwise. I don't want to fail the exam, it turns otherwise. Everything turns otherwise. Even if I'm in business, the market turns otherwise. Okay, even if I'm doing financially well, it turns otherwise. So everything has the potentiality of turning otherwise. And when it turns otherwise, I don't have any power to change it. So, anatta, no ownership, no owner there. Actually, it's got nothing to do with anatma as such. It's just that you don't have ownership. You have no ownership rights on anything. It's just a process. You follow the process, the nature gives you. If you don't follow the process, the nature actually penalizes you. That's it. It's nothing you and I can do. What's the nature? The nature of anger is to burn you. The nature of metta, to make peace with you. It's your choice. But nothing in this world can change the anger that is, when I'm angry, that aversive, burning nature be replaced with loving kindness. No. But if I have developed loving kindness, nothing in this world can make that have a burning sensation. Not possible. So, in the same way, Nibbana, which is unconditioned, and Sankata, which is conditioned, the conditioned nature has the tilakkhana, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Whereas the unconditioned has no nature. What does that mean? If you don't condition anything, it doesn't arise or pass away. If you condition something, it arises and passes away. So can we have a practical example? Yes. Let's take a software. We create version 1.0. When it is created, it's going to age. It's going to die. So we keep it on the shelf or you keep wherever you want to keep it. It's going to die. Because the market factors will change it. That means I need to do something to make it work. So it goes into maintenance. When I say maintenance, it is viparinama dhamma. Because it has to be maintained. Means conditioned. And any conditioned reality goes out of service, which is viparinama dukkha to anyatha bhavi. Went out of service. So I can't have the same product endless. Not possible. So can I keep it for 10 years? Depends on market. Can I keep it for 2 years at least? No, depends on market. It's a market acceptance which keeps the product. That means it is completely conditioned. not just conditioned, it's completely conditioned. No matter how much effort I put to develop that product, nobody cares. And if that software is there, even if it is working to the highest potential, it will go out of service. So it has a shelf life. What if it was uncreated? Then there's nothing to destroy. So you keep on digging. That deity keeps on telling him to dig to understand what's happening. So the Kummo is Panchupadana Khanda, and Asisuna is a slaughterhouse. We spoke about it yesterday about a slaughterhouse. So a slaughterhouse consisting of 5 senses with 6 guna. Itta, Kanta, Manapa, Kamupasamita, Piyarupa, Rajaniya. So this, we have covered it earlier, but for those who have forgotten by any chance, so Itta means attractive, Kanta, lovely, Manapa, agreeable, Piyarupa, beloved, or dear, or pleasing. Kamupasamita is, Kama is sensual desire, pleasure. Upasamita is connectedness, connected with sensual pleasure. And Rajaniya is enticing. So we create products which will have these 6 flavors. So anything we create, it also includes relationships, human relationships, also has this 6 kama guna. Ittha, liking, I like the girl, and then I marry or I fall in love. So I liked and then I fall in love. So ittha kanta. So delighting. It's so nice, lovely, and delighting, charming, and she's so agreeable. Manapa. Priya Rupa is beloved, dear, or pleasing. Kamupa Samhita, sensual. Rajaniya, enticing. So every product, every relationship goes through this 6 into 5. 5 senses into 6. Okay. Then he's talking of Mamsapesi, which is Nandi Raga, delight and attachment. So you have to remove that. Mamsapesi is delighting in the sense experience, because the mind gets glued to sense pleasure, and this must be abandoned through discernment, because it keeps on dropping away anyway. So there's no point in holding on to it. And then Naga is the Arhat. So we completed the entire story or the riddle. The only thing I have not covered is Nelanga. That is in Chittavagga. We'll do it tomorrow and we'll continue some with the Vammikasutta. So the practice here is that these 9, when we sit for meditation, let's say meditation, I sit and observe this body as an anthill. Anthill representing the 4 Mahabhuta, or the 4 primaries, and brought out of food from mother and father, and the food of what I am eating. So this anthill is growing. And the nature of this anthill is 5. Anicca, and you have to wash it. It has a nature to break, like that. Okay, so if I do step by step, what I'm supposed to be doing is, I see this body, okay, and I see how this body has come. Then I do this anicca, uchadana, parimadhana, bhedana, vidhamsana. That means I look at the arising and passing of this body from my childhood till now. Then uchadana is every day I need to clean this body. Parimadhana is the aging process. Vedana is breaking. Vidhamsana means dissolution. Every product, every relationship, every human being goes through the same. And then after seeing this, I start looking at the Langhi, which represents Avidya. Second, Uddhamayika, that means actually represented by bullfrog. But why bullfrog? Because of aversion, not liking. So bloated. Uddhama Kaika is actually, Uddhama is bloating. Kaika is the body. Bullfrog is bloated one, so they have taken that as an example. But if you try to instigate the bullfrog, it will bite. So anger, ill will, frustration is what we can see. Dvedapatho is Visikicha, doubt. Changavaram is 5 hindrances. Kummo is the Panchapadana Khanda. Asisuna is 5 Kamaguna. Mamsapesi is Nandiraga, that is delight and attachment. And Naga is the Keenasa. Is the Arhat. So if we develop this, you'll end up being an Arhat. A nice sutta to move from one to another, step by step. Any questions, anyone? Otherwise, we can end early also. Not that we have to continue. Yes, Shaniel.
Just with the last one about the Naga.
Uh-huh.
Why does it say leave it? No. Don't disturb it. Worship it.
Because it's an Arhat.
So leave it alone. Don't disturb it. Just worship it.
Just worship it. Don't just leave it alone.
Mm.
It doesn't have any of these 8.
Okay.
He kept on digging and digging and digging and digging. There's nothing there.
Right.
And what remained was just the purest of the state.
Nothing more to do.
Nothing more to do. It's all done. If you see from the beginning, you removed the anthill.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, it's a good question. So let's play this game and see. First, we removed the anthill, and then what happens? We saw an obstruction. Okay, obstruction to Nibbana. So we removed the obstruction to Nibbana. Then what did we see? There is frustration. Right? And then after the frustration, what happened? I got a doubt. Is this the right road I need to go? Am I doing right? Am I meeting the right person? Am I not hallucinating or whatever it is? And then I start researching. Like Shaniel, I heard from Bobby that after our session, you shared with him that you were Naga is no defilements, Veena. I heard that you said you had all of these experiences 7 years ago and you are searching for whether these experiences can be made it like a testimony that somebody has experienced this so that can be compared or can be looked at. I felt very happy. So that's exactly what this state is. When we are in a Dvedapatho, being a forked state, which route to take? Which route to take? It's very difficult state because you require somebody, some friend, some Kalyan Mitra. You means even for me. So I had a lot of struggle. How do I find it? Whom should I go and ask? Okay. And you desperately require someone with whom you can share. Look, this is what I'm feeling. What do you think? Am I on right track or am I wrong track? Okay. Because just by reading, we can't get anything. So when you start getting experience, you really require. So the Noble Eightfold Path, somebody has to explain. Otherwise, it's not possible to understand. Or actually, Get the clarity. So Dvedapato, which is where he says the doubt. Then 5 hindrances, we saw it, removed it. 5 aggregates of clinging, we removed it. 5 sensual pleasures, also we removed it. Then we did not give any delight and attachment to it. Okay. And then came the Naga. Step by step. Nice one.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's good.
Yeah. So if we develop like that, so first when I sit, I have to cut this body into 6 elements, if not 6, 5 elements. Then 6 ayatana, 6 sense doors. So whenever we need to, when I say meditating, it should open up into 5 dhatus and 6 ayatana or sense doors. In both of them is anicca, dukkha, anatta nature. In both, not only in this, in both. Like eyes. What is an eye? Eye is to see, but there's a deterioration of seeing. What is an ear? For hearing. But there is a deterioration all the time of hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, all that. And in each rupa, then saddha, gandha, rasa, like that. There's also like that. And what about Pathavi? Same. It seems joined, but it starts to disjoin. What about Apo? Same nature. And what about Tejo? Same nature. Vayu, Akasa. 5 of them, same nature. Meaning, how can Pathavi go away? No, it changes. How about Apo? It again changes. How? Well, if there is floods, the Pathavi is lost. Mud getting into water, gone. How about drought? Water is gone. How about heat? Yeah, heat keeps on going all the time. How about air? Yeah, air, if you can see, can turn into breeze, it can turn into tornado, or sometimes there is no air at all. And when we call it is pretty hot, why? Because there's no air. And hence we can feel the heat. If there is air, good amount of air, then that sweat will keep on evaporating. You don't feel heat. So we can see this nature in the normal 5 elements. Out of that 4, the 5th one, maybe we can't sense it, space, we can take 4. So we understood. So both the ayatana and the dhatu has the same nature. So I bring it in this, that means I remove this Vammika and see what is there. It is consisting of 5 dhatu and 6 ayatanas, nothing else. Now I start working to break it. I enter into Arupa Jhana. And that will help me in Nirodha Samapatti. Cessation complete of feelings and perception. That's how I can develop this. Vammikasutta. Okay. But we still have time, so if you want to discuss something, or I'm there. One second, you before you begin, she had written something, so let me answer to her. Okay. Naga is defilement? No. Naga represents a state where there are no defilements. It's not the snake what we are talking about as Asi Visopamasutta or something like that. Naga represents a state of mind which is purified, and hence it is Arhat. So please read the sutta, you will understand. First thing. Then the second one, then what it is, sir? It is the same thing what I just now said. One whose defilements are ended. This is a riddle, not in real sense. Okay, riddle is always a riddle. You need to solve it. Somebody gives you a riddle, you need to solve it. It's not about, is it really like that? No, it's just a riddle to make things understand. Like a jigsaw puzzle. If somebody gives you a jigsaw puzzle, you need to solve the jigsaw puzzle. There's nothing to say that, is it really like that? No. That would be a wrong argument, Veena. Okay, so if you remove this Vammika, which is this body, what you see, that means when you are cleansed of everything, what you get is an Arhat. Not that an Arhat is staying inside here, so don't get into a wrong understanding. You get to see an Arhat, meaning your mind gets into Arhata Phala Samapatti. Okay? Like that. Supposing, another way of explaining to you, supposing somebody is a Sotapan, just entered into the stream, he doesn't know anything, and somebody has to be given, or the teacher says, yeah, Deepa, bye-bye. So the teacher says, I'll give you an assignment for you to work. And the student who is a Sotapanna says that, yes, give me. And the teacher says, look, Vilas, the example, the thing I'm going to give you is, why don't you sit in one corner and remove the body? Okay. Now he starts breaking it down. How does he break down? He breaks it down by Patvi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Akash. Okay. He starts to understand the nature of Patvi, the nature of Apo, the nature of Tejo, like that. Then he goes back to the teacher saying that, look, I have tried understanding this. Then the teacher says, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good. Now, why don't you do with the six senses? Understand the eye, understand the ear, understand the nose, tongue, body, and mind, and come back to me. So after a few days, the student goes and talks to the teacher. I was able to discern the eye. I was able to discern the form. I was able to discern this, the ear and the sound, the nose and the smell, tongue and the taste, body and the touch, mind and the mental objects. Excellent. Having done that, can you understand the dukkha for yourself? And the student says, yes. Now, can you work out on anatta nature? The student goes back and says, yes. Can you work out on anicca nature? And the student says, yes. Now, when he says yes to all of this, and the teacher proclaims, very good, you have now become a Sakadagami, because your attachment towards the sensuality and the aversion is gone to a very less level. Excellent. Continue working on that. And this student keeps on working on that. After a few days, again, he goes back to the teacher saying that, I've done this. It is excellent. Now you have become an anagami. Why don't you now seclude yourself completely and complete the journey? And then the Naga appears. And that is Arhat. Yes, Ed, you had a question.
Yeah. I was thinking this Mangi, right? This bars, this iron bar. Ignorance is one of the last things to go. But why does he put so upfront as the first thing to discover after the end?
No, first you should know that there is avidya. If you don't know there is avidya, then what will you remove? The first thing that comes up is avidya. Avidya pachaya sankhara. Actually, going on the patisamutpada also. Avidya pachaya sankhara, sankhara pachaya vinyana, vinyana pachaya namarupa, namarupa pachaya salaytana, phassa, vedana, like that. It's complete one because the six senses are there and everything is there. Yes.
Okay, so I guess it's the little bit of avijja that's removed to start you off on the noble path because we
Yeah.
need that kick.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. First, we need to know there is avidya, ignorance. In fact, since you asked me this question, it is there in Vammikasutta. You remember the first sentence itself, he says that, what is one thing which is missing? And he says, avidya. Just search for MN43 and just look at it. And he says, who is a fool? A fool is one who doesn't know the Four Noble Truth. Because it's avidya. Fool and an astute. Okay, so should we end then? You all ready? Okay, see you tomorrow with the Asi Visopama Sutta then. Thank you.